When most people think about a miter saw, they think about a basic cross cut. 90-degree cut, straight across the board, nice and simple. But that's just one of 5 main types of cuts that you can actually do on this saw. So let's take a look at the 5 different types and see if you're taking advantage of all of them. So let's start with the most common one, which is just a cross cut. It's a 90-degree cut right across the face of a board. Simple way to make sure you have a 90-degree mark is using a speed square, but we also have to make sure that the blade is at 90 degrees. So one simple way to make sure that when you're set at 0, you're actually at 90 is to take your speed square. Yes, I know it's shaped like a triangle. Trust me, it's a speed square. If I put that flat against the fence and then I slide it against the blade, it should be contacting the whole way right here. If it's not, your angle is off. So for example, if I move this over a couple degrees and I set that flat, you see we get a gap over the blade right there. It's not touching anymore. Now, do you need to do this every time you make a cross cut? Not really, but it is a good idea once in a while. Just check and make sure your saw is not out of alignment. So the second type of cut would be considered a miter cut. And that is when we take this saw now and we start swinging it to the sides. We move from 90 degrees to get a different angle for our cut. Now, saws come with different angles. This one is nice. It goes up to 60 degrees one way and up to 50 degrees the other way. Many of them only go to 45 degrees, and for most jobs that really is okay, but sometimes you get a job where you need a bigger angle, so it really comes in handy to have a saw that moves that extra little bit. Now, 45s is probably the most common angle that people use because you're putting 4 sides of something together. I'm making a picture frame. I need that nice 45-degree cut. As I move this around for miter cuts, there's different spots where it will automatically click in. If you heard that, and there, and there. And these are just common numbers that are used when you're doing cuts. A minute ago, we used this speed square to check and make sure we are at 90 degrees. You can also use it to make sure your 45 degrees is accurate. So I can come over here with the speed square, again, put it flat against the fence, and move it in. Set it to 45, there's our lock. Kind of lift this so you can see. And we make sure we're touching the whole way. So this third type of cut is probably the least common of the 3 main cuts, and that is a bevel cut. And that is where you take the saw and you actually tilt the blade to the side like this. So this is used if you don't want to get an angle on this side of the board, but you want to get it this way. Imagine I want to cut down like that. So here's an example of something you might do with that. I'm working on a box here. You can see I have my band clamp set up, but I cut down because these boards are standing up and I need them to be together like a box. Now personally, I avoid bevel cuts whenever I can. They're very rough on the blade. A lot of times you'll get some burning happening. So what I would actually do in this situation, because this board isn't super thick, is stand it up against the fence and still do it as a miter cut. So this next type of cut here, not all saws are equipped with, and that is a sliding cut, where actually you can loosen a knob on the back and you can pull the saw out. Now, when would you want to be able to do that? It's actually pretty simple. You want to cut something that's wider than what the saw is able to cut without sliding. Now, there is a way that you can do this without a sliding cut. You can actually cut part of the way through the board and then flip the board over and cut the other side. But that's still only going to get you so far. So while not every miter saw comes with a sliding feature, if you think you're going to be cutting some wider stuff, it may be something to look into before you go making that purchase. So this last option here is probably the least common one. I actually did a video a while ago just on this technique, and I had people who own this exact saw, and they were like, I had no idea that saw did that. So what I'm talking about is taking advantage of this little feature right here. If your saw has this option, don't neglect it. I can flip that down and start to lower this, and if you see this screw right here, when that screw hits that little latch, the saw is going to stop. You can see the saw is not all the way down. I can adjust this screw to change how far down this is going to go. The more I back it out, the sooner it hits, the higher up the saw blade is. If I lower it down by tightening the screw, it's now going to go lower. There's a lot of projects you can use this for. The biggest thing I use it for is making half lap joints. For example, if I'm making a cross and I want the 2 parts to sit together flat, this is a great way to do that. You can also cut grooves. If you're doing a phone stand, you want something for it to sit in. Lots of options. Now, one of the things I love about the miter saw is you can combine a bunch of these options together. You can combine a bevel and a miter cut, or a bevel and a sliding cut, or a miter and a sliding cut. You can work them together to get cuts that most people wouldn't think of making. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you figured something out in the miter saw that you didn't know before. You at least look at it a little bit differently now, and you make sure you take advantage of those different cuts. Just make sure you're doing them in a safe manner, and I will see you in the next video.